Good afternoon from Joliet, Illinois. Welcome to today's broadcast of University of St. Francis Fighting Saints basketball. I hope everybody is continuing to have a great holiday season as we open up the two-day St. Francis New Year's Classic. 4 games over the next 2 days, and we open with the hosts, the Fighting Saints, taking on the Campbellsville University Tigers. Terry Bonadonna with you along for the ride over the next couple of days. We're ready for the opening tip with E.J. Charles of St. Francis going head-to-head with Jay Milburn of Campbellsville. The Saints in white, the Tigers in maroon, and the Tigers win the tip. Campbellsville goes from left to right to get today's game started. We just met the starting lineups for today's game. For Campbellsville, it's Jace Wallace, Darius Harding, who fires the three and hits it. Good start for Harding and the Tigers. Jay Milburn, Kobe Penny, and Chandler Clemens make up the rest of the starting lineup for Brent Vernon's Campbellsville squad. Now it's the Fighting Saints in control of the basketball for the first time. Ramel Davis receives the pass down low, gives it to the cutting to Dav Gerner. Nice dish to Ben Fatz, and Fatz misses the layup. Gerner, Fatz, Davis, Tay Jones, and E.J. Charles are the starting 5 for the Saints today. Trying to pick up their first win in nearly a month. Counting a couple of exhibition games, it's a 5-game losing streak currently for the Fighting Saints. Milburn swings it around. This is Harding on the left wing, 7 to shoot for Darius Harding, who had a three-pointer on the last possession. Can't do it this time. Harding comes up empty. He's a 45% shooter on the season, 43 from beyond the arc. 1 for 2 today. Here's Davis putting it on the floor with the left hand. Davis backs into the paint, kicks it out to E.J. Charles, three-pointer, and he can't tie the score. A couple of good looks on their first 2 possessions for the Fighting Saints. Fatz missed underneath. Charles in and out on the three-pointer. Here come the Tigers trying to add to their lead. Wallace kicks it outside. Three-pointer misses from Kobe Penny. So both teams struggling to shoot a little bit out of the gate today. Harding knocked down the first shot for Campbellsville, but neither side has been able to score since. Just about 2 minutes into the action as Tay Jones backs it up. Kicks it to the top. It's E.J. Charles. High post, Ben Fatz. Charles tries from the opposite end of the floor and misses another 3. He's 0 for 2 from the outside. Still 3-0 Tigers. That's been our score since the opening possession. Penny backs in. Penny working against Jones. Flips it up and misses. Rebound Charles. St. Francis 0 for 3 from the field today. 2 of those have come from three-point range. 1 from in the paint. Ben Fatz backs his way in. Double team. Ball stripped by Harding. Loose on the floor, and Harding comes away with it. Good defense from Darius Harding. He has the only points of the game, and now he's forced the first turnover as well. Charles tried to force one as well. Wallace is able to pull it in. A pass underneath to Milburn, who's blocked by the bottom of the rim. A reset for the Tigers. Harding for 3. No good. Scoring is a struggle early on for these 2 squads. Tay Jones runs into a problem, and he loses the ball. Kobe Penny knocked it loose, holding his ground defensively. Harding works his way inside. Good defense from Nadav Gerner. Gerner reached in. He forced the tie-up. And the held ball means that it is St. Francis possession on the arrow. Campbellsville won the opening tip. So the Saints are able to force a turnover here. Now we'll see if they can force the ball into the basket. More than 3 minutes into the game. They haven't been able to score just yet. They've turned it over the last few times they've had it. Gerner into Charles. Charles working against Harding. Jump stop in the paint. In traffic. Blocked out of bounds. Jay Milburn reached his hand in there. I think he's the one who got the block. It is still St. Francis possession. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Gerner passes to the cutting Charles. Here's Ramel Davis. Steps inside the free throw line. Floats it off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound tipped around. And a foul called on Nadav Gerner. Battling with Kobe Penny for the loose ball. So Gerner's called for his first. It's the team's first. It's the game's first foul. It was a pretty clean start to this game. No turnovers the first few minutes for either side. No fouls. Took 3.5 minutes before we've got our first foul. The offenses have looked pretty sharp except for the final point. Got to put the ball in the basket. Other than that, the ball movement has been crisp. We've seen both teams get some good looks, including this one right here. Three-pointer misses from Jay Milburn, rebounded by Davis. Davis into the corner. Tay Jones, good defense from Wallace, and he's blocked by Milburn. Looked like Jones wanted the three. Jace Wallace closed in nicely, forced the drive, and Jones was blocked at the rim by Milburn. Here is Milburn kicking it outside. Clements gives it back to Milburn. Shot clock under 20. Over 4 minutes into the game. Nobody's scored since the opening possession. Good ball movement here by the Tigers. Milburn up top, hits the three, and finally we're back on the board. First points for either side in 4 minutes. Jay Milburn, not much of an outside shooter, but he was wide open that time, and he made the Saints pay. 6-0, 15 and a half minutes to play in the first half. Ben Fatz backs in. Fatz in position, gets himself to the free throw line. Good post-up move from Ben Fatz as he's fouled by Milburn on the play. First foul called on Campbellsville. First free throws of the game for either team. Ben Fatz, the transfer, originally from Germany, makes the first free throw. First season with the Fighting Saints. He's a junior. 60% foul shooter for the year. Both teams make some substitutions here. For the Fighting Saints, Dakota Joachim checks in. Tyrell Hunt is out there for Campbellsville as the second free throw goes down. Noah Gordon as well has entered play for Campbellsville. And St. Francis makes another substitution. Casimir Ochiaka makes his home debut, just his second appearance on the floor this season. Missed the first month of the season. There's an interception. Tay Jones jumps the passing lane. Jones into E.J. Charles, and he's fouled. Saints still haven't been able to convert from the field, but the last few possessions, they've been able to get themselves to the line, and now Charles will try to add to this little St. Francis run, make it 3 or 4 points in a row. Charles misses the first free throw. E.J. Charles is the third leading scorer on the team this season, averaging just under 10 points per game, 9.7. Looking for his first today. The second foul shot is good. Cameron Willis is in to handle the ball for Campbellsville. So both teams leaning on their second units right now. This is Gordon giving it back to Willis. Half the shot clock is gone. Tyrell Hunt takes it inside the paint. Back out to Gordon in the corner. Gordon backs in on Ochiaka. Gordon fighting for positioning, flips it towards the hoop and misses. Rebound Ochiaka. Good defense from the Fighting Saints. They trail by 3. Still haven't hit from the field yet. All things considered, not in bad position. You can go almost 6 minutes without making a field goal and be down by just 1 possession. You're in okay shape. Ochiaka passes to the cutting E.J. Charles, but it's knocked loose. Taken away by the Tigers. Campbellsville has just 2 field goals themselves through 6 minutes. Three-pointer misses short from Hunt. Both of Campbellsville's buckets have come from beyond the three-point line. Ball is knocked loose, but it is still St. Francis possession. They've only got 2 seconds to get it across half court, and Charles just barely does. Jace Wallace knocked the ball free from the Saints initially. Here's Tay Jones, nice move for 3, got it. Good fake to get around Willis, and Tay Jones is on the board. First bucket of the game for the Fighting Saints. Tay Jones is the Saints' leading three-point shooter this year by a wide margin. He's got more than twice as many as anybody else on the team. Shooting them at 50% for the year. Ochiaka knocks it out of bounds. Casimir Ochiaka has been very active since entering the game just a couple of minutes ago. Ben Kreitz is in for the Fighting Saints, along with Nick Nigo. Those two join Joakim, Ochiaka, and Davis on the floor. 4 reserves out there for St. Francis. Mostly reserves for Campbellsville as well. Willis with 2 on the shot clock, misses the 3. Rebound tracked down by the Tigers. Another 3-point attempt is good, and a foul. Jordan Graham has his first points of the game, and Graham is going to try to make this a 4-point play. That snaps the 6-0 run for St. Francis. It's the first time that Campbellsville has scored in over 2.5 minutes. They have really spaced out their buckets today. Graham makes the free throw. They hit one early, then went 4 minutes without one. And now they've got another. They've only scored on 3 possessions, but they have 10 points. Just about as good as you can expect from only 3 possessions scoring. 4-point game. Davis backs in. Davis with the right hand, off the glass and in. Ramel Davis has his first points of the game. 10-8 our score. 12:40 to play in the first half. Here's Jordan Graham, who had the 4-point play moments ago. Graham gets it on the left wing. Noah Gordon works his way towards the hoop. Fadeaway is good. Turnaround on Ochiaka, and a timeout called by Brent Vernon. So maybe Campbellsville starting to find some rhythm from their bench. They've scored on back-to-back possessions. And for the first time today, they've hit a 2-pointer. This is a team that is not typically going to go through a stretch where they have just 1 field goal in 6.5 minutes. They like to run up the score. A heavy 3-point shooting team, maybe not as heavy as they have been today, where the majority of their shots have come from beyond the arc, but they score close to 90 points per game. So St. Francis, like I said, on the one hand, has got to be feeling good about the fact that they can go 6 minutes without making a field goal and still be right there in the game. But on the other hand, you got to figure the Tigers are going to get hot at some point. Maybe they've already started, scoring 6 points on their last 2 possessions. And so at some time in this game, the Saints are going to have to heat up themselves and go on a little scoring run. They've got Ben Fatz back out there. Into Nick Nigo. Layup is no good, but he's fouled. Nick Nigo received that pass with his back to the basket, put it right up, and was hit on the arm. So Nigo's at the line. Fighting Saints are 3 of 4 as a team shooting free throws today, and Nigo misses the first. Nick Nigo's a 2.5-point per game scorer. This is only his 5th free throw attempt of the season. He just missed his 4th. He's 2 of 4 shooting on the year. Second foul shot misses as well. Don Joakim is in right now for St. Francis. First appearance for him today. Gordon up with the right hand, rolls it around and in. Noah Gordon's got the last 2 buckets for Campbellsville. He's got 4 points. And it's a 6-point lead for the Tigers, matching their biggest of this first half. Dakota Joakim surveys the scene, hands it off to Don Joakim. Around the Ben Fatz screen, Joakim passes into the rolling Fatz. Fatz in traffic, shoots at the left, no good. Rebound tipped out to John Joakim. No rim on that shot, 2 on the shot clock here. Nigo forces it towards the hoop, no good. In the paint, an easy interception for Nick Nigo. Way too aggressive on the pass from Kobe Penny. Here's Don Joakim, lobbing it down low to Fatz. 1 dribble, Fatz going to the rim. No foul called. He misses underneath. Under 11 minutes to play in the half. St. Francis still trails by 6, trying to make it 8. The shot rims out for Tyrell Hunt. Quick shot from Hunt. Don Joachim, quick shot in response. His falls though, and it's a 4-point game. First points today for the junior Don Joachim. He's been in and out of the lineup with injuries this year, but has been effective when he's played. Gordon splits the defense underneath the basket, flings it outside. Drive comes up short for Jordan Graham. Well defended by the Saints, lobbed ahead. Don Joachim pull up from the baseline, high arcer, no good. And Graham comes away with the rebound for Campbellsville. Another quick shot for the Fighting Saints. This one does not pay off. Willis lobs it into Noah Gordon. Gordon lays it in. 6 points for Noah Gordon. He's been excellent off the bench today for Campbellsville. He's an 8-point per game scorer this season. He's the difference right now in a 16-10 ball game. That pass deflected out of bounds by the Tigers. It'll stay with the Saints after some substitutions. Chandler Clements is back in. Jay Milburn, Jace Wallace, and Darius Harding. So 4 starters return to the floor for Campbellsville. Ben Kreitz to Dakota Joachim on the wing. Lobbed across, Kreitz for 3, no. Halfway down, couldn't finish it. Nice pass ahead to the cutting Jordan Graham, and Graham finishes with the layup, assisted by Jace Wallace. The lead is up to 8 for Campbellsville, their biggest today. More than halfway through this first half. Saints still haven't found their offensive rhythm. They've been able to keep it relatively close. Nick Nigo step back for 3. No good. Fats fights the rebound, loses it to Jace Wallace. Wallace pushes ahead for Graham. Campbellsville works quickly here. Harding backs in. Harding creates some space. Turnaround on Nigo off the back of the rim, and it rolls in. Timeout called by Ryan Marks on the St. Francis sideline. 6 straight points for Campbellsville. They've built up their lead to its biggest yet. 20-10 is our score. 8:45 to play in the first half. Saints went behind 6-0 at the start of this game. They hit a few free throws, but really struggled from the field before Tate Jones finally hit a three-pointer. That tied the score at 6, so it looked like the Saints were on the comeback trail, but Campbellsville's bench has really performed well. For St. Francis, the bench has been one of their high points this year, but injuries have forced that bench to look a lot different today than it did a month and a half ago. Lewis McGlasson has been a big scorer as a reserve this year for the Saints, but he's out again today. He's been out for the last 4 games. Ramel Davis was one of the top bench scorers, but he has moved into the starting lineup these last few. E.J. Charles swarmed in the paint, ball knocked loose, and he's fouled. Fourth foul on Campbellsville resets the shot clock to 20 as the Fighting Saints will inbound from the baseline. Dakota Joachim is the trigger man. Gets it to Ben Fats. Fats looks outside, finds Tay Jones. Jones is the Saints' leading scorer this year. He gives to Fats and thrown out of bounds. Fats was looking for E.J. Charles on the cut, but those two were not on the same page. Frustration for St. Francis. Out of a timeout, they turn it over. Dakota Joachim departs, and Nadav Gerner returns to the floor. So the 5 starters are out there right now for St. Francis. 4 out of 5 starters on the floor for Campbellsville. Noah Gordon is the only reserve out there, and Gordon has been the best player so far today. This is Gordon driving. Gordon loses it on his way up. Out of bounds, and Gordon touched it last. Kobe Penny is back in. And now it's 4 out of 5 starters. I had it wrong before. Jordan Graham was out there, along with Noah Gordon. So now Penny is back in, and the only starter who remains on the bench is Jay Harding. Davis, pull up, jumper is good. Ramel Davis wanted a foul on top of it, doesn't get the call. He's got 4 points. Nice jumper from Davis. In response, it's Penny for 3, perfect. Kobe Penny from the outside builds the Campbellsville lead up to 11. Biggest of the game now. Ben Fatz spins. Fatz up with the left hand and in. Nice little layup for Ben Fatz. He's on the board. Fatz has been very active inside today, but Campbellsville has done a good job of making points difficult for him. It's his first field goal. He had a couple of free throws earlier. Gordon kicks it outside. Wallace. Wallace picked up by Fatz. Over to Noah Gordon for 3. Gordon misses this time, and E.J. Charles grabs the rebound and runs with it. Charles pulls up at the three-point line, turns his back towards the basket, makes his way inside on Harding. Charles has it stripped, picked up by Davis. Into Fatz, step back. Fatz dribbles into the paint, nice turnaround, but comes up short with the right hand. Penny's pass deflected by Tay Jones, and Jones grabs the loose ball. 2-on-1. Jones ahead to Davis, who lays it in. Beautifully set up by Tay Jones, and Davis able to finish to make it a 7-point game. 6 for Ramel Davis now. So the Saints have started to go on that little run. Starts on the defensive end for St. Francis. Kobe Penny for 3. No good. Rebound Fatz. Here's Nadav Gerner on the break. Gerner gives it up to Tay Jones. Jones steps back, has it stripped, but gets the ball back in his possession. E.J. Charles holds it on the left wing. Charles fires the 3 and hits. Harding gave him space. Charles did not receive that pass looking to shoot. But when Harding never closed in, Charles decided to put it up. He's got his first three-pointer of the game. Penny is blocked from behind by Fatz and out of bounds. It'll stay with Campbellsville. Hard fall there by Ben Fatz, so hopefully he's all right, but it was a nice block for him as well. It's a little bit slow to get up, but he appears to be feeling okay. Just a little bit shaken up after a good tumble. He's going to leave the game. I think he was going to anyway. Casimiro Chiaka checks in. So Fatz was already going to come out, but after taking that fall, it'll be good to get a little rest as well. 23-19 our score. 5:25 to play in the first half. Passes inbounded to Willis. 2-point jumper misses. Fight for the rebound is won by Campbellsville. Harding for 3. It's good. Credit to Tyrell Hunt for keeping that possession alive and finding Harding. And then Harding, a nice quick step to the left and the three-pointer. He's got a couple of threes today. 8 points total for Darius Harding. Gerner into Davis. Ramel Davis working against Hunt, banks it in. Good positioning from Davis as he caught that pass. He's having a nice first half. Davis has a team-high 8. 26-21. Hunt, jumper, no. Rebound Davis. We're moving at a pretty good pace in this game. Neither team has shot the ball well, but the score is starting to tick its way up. Still not a high-scoring game by any means. Davis thought about the 3. Instead, he drives to the rim. He's fouled. And Davis will have a chance to become the first player in double figures in this game with a couple of free throws coming up. He can also make this a one-possession game from the line. Davis is a 68% foul shooter this year. Free throws have not been St. Francis's strong suit this season, nor have they been today. They are just 3 of 6 from the line. But Davis makes the first here. 4 of 7. They are a 64% free throw shooting team on the year. Kazmio Chiaka departs. Connor Casper checks in for the first time today for St. Francis. And Davis makes them both. 26-23. About 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the first half. It's a closer game than it has felt like for most of the first half. Campbellsville was up by 11. St. Francis has outscored them since then, 11-3. Knocked away by Charles towards the sideline and out of bounds. 10 on the shot clock for Campbellsville as they will inbound from the sideline. Jace Wallace pulls it back to half court. 5 seconds to shoot. Wallace bounces it in tight to Hunt, and it's knocked out of bounds. Hunt touched it last. The Tigers turn it over with under 4 minutes to play in the first half. St. Francis could tie the score with a three-pointer here. They've hit only 2 of them in the first half. They certainly don't need one here. But to erase an 11-point deficit and turn it into a tie this quickly would definitely be a momentum boost. Instead, they'll get a momentum boost that way. E.J. Charles throws it down off the feet from Nadav Gerner, and it's a 1-point game. 26-25. Saints are on a roll. Harding trying to get the Tigers back on track, loses the ball. Davis poked it free. Picked up by Harding, who throws it up for grabs and does find Jace Wallace. Step back for Wallace, knocks down the 2. Timeout called by Campbellsville. Big time recovery there for Campbellsville. We're still in the first half. We're early in the game. But it looked a couple of minutes ago like Campbellsville was prepared to run away with this game, and then all of a sudden St. Francis claimed all the momentum. Small crowd here on the holiday break. Not many students around campus right now, but still the crowd that was here certainly was getting into it in favor of the Fighting Saints. After they went on their nice run, they got the big dunk from E.J. Charles to make it a 1-point game. And then it looked like the Saints were about to force a turnover. And that quickly turned around as Campbellsville took that broken possession and they turned it into 2 points for them. First 2 of the game for Jace Wallace. They've come at a big moment just before Campbellsville calls the timeout with 3 minutes and 13 seconds to play in the first half. And again, we're still early in this game, early enough that it's anybody's ball game, but late enough that if St. Francis had let Campbellsville pull away the way they were doing, building that double-digit lead in the first half, this could have turned very quickly into a long afternoon for the home team. Basketball is always a game of twists and turns. And that big bucket from the Tigers just turned things back in their favor. We'll see if St. Francis can get back on the board here coming out of the timeout with Charles, Jones, Gerner, Casper, and Davis on the floor. Here's Gerner. Over to Casper. Casper puts it on the floor, spins around Clements, off the back rim, no good. Rebounded by Davis. Davis shot, good. Davis rolls it in. He's got 12 points in the first half for the Fighting Saints. Harding gives it to Hunt. Hunt guarded by Gerner, passes off to Clements. Just a 1-point lead for Campbellsville. Jumper from the corner, misses short from Darius Harding. Here come the Fighting Saints with a chance to take their first lead of the day. E.J. Charles gives it to Casper, and Casper is fouled on his way to the rim. Nearly rolled it in as well. He'll settle for the 2 foul shots. 6th foul called on Campbellsville. They've hit their limit. So free throws from here on out for the Fighting Saints as Casper misses the first one on this trip. Casper's 3 of 5 from the line this year. This to tie the score. No good. There was an inadvertent buzzer there from the scorer's table. St. Francis wants a redo, but they don't get it. 3-pointer from the corner is no good. Here come the Fighting Saints. Tay Jones fights his way inside and lays it in. Hard work from Tay Jones as he gives St. Francis their first lead today. 29-28 with 2 minutes to play in the first half. Jones has 5. Harding gives it up top to Gordon, knocked loose by Charles, and Willis is fouled. Charles was just going after the loose ball. But in that case, if he had let it go, I don't know if Willis could have saved that one without his momentum carrying him over the half-court line. So it may have been a turnover for the Tigers had it not been for the foul. But again, it's hard to think that through at the moment for E.J. Charles. He wants to grab that loose ball for himself. Instead, he's called for his first foul, 3rd on the team. Wallace for 3. No good. Rebound, Gerner. Ahead for Dakota Joachim. Joachim kicks it out to Davis. Davis slows things down as we approach the final minute of play for the first half. St. Francis would love to carry a lead into halftime, considering they've trailed this entire game. Davis down to the corner and Gerner. Gerner along the baseline tries to find a cutting Joachim, but it's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Saints. Only 4 seconds to shoot. Joachim is the inbounder. Cross court to E.J. Charles. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Charles, long 2-point jumper is blocked, but a foul called on Darius Harding, and E.J. Charles is headed back to the line. A bailout foul on what really was a desperation shot. Not that Charles can't hit that, but that is not in any way the shot that the Saints would have been looking for had there been any more time left on the shot clock. And the Tigers give him a chance for 2 free ones. First shot good from Charles. St. Francis was down 23-12. And they have outscored Campbellsville 18-4 ever since. What a turnaround for this team that got off to a dreadfully slow start. Charles makes 2 of 2. 7 points for the senior. And Campbellsville takes the ball back. Final minute to play in the first half. 3-point lead for the Saints. Drive is halted by Charles. I'm not sure if he touched that one or not, but Gordon came up short. Campbellsville wanted a foul called. A little bit sloppy to start this possession for St. Francis. They slow it down. Joachim at the top. Bounces to Ben Fatz at the free throw line. Here's Charles around the screen. Ball knocked away and stolen by Graham. Now Graham can't get a grip on it. Stuck on the floor trying to find help somewhere, and we've got a timeout from Campbellsville. It was the only thing that the Tigers could do right there. Graham did get the clean steal initially before losing it. So the 10-second clock had started right away after the turnover. And after the Saints tried to take it back and failed in that regard, Graham still had possession, but he's lying with his back on the floor with only about 4 seconds to get it across half court before a violation were to be called. So Campbellsville had to call that timeout just to get a grip on things. And now they will technically have to get a shot off but less than a second separates the shot and game clocks. So they can hold on for the last one here if they want to. 25 seconds to play in the first half. Campbellsville has led pretty much the entire way. They've led for about 18 minutes in this half. But unless they hit a three-pointer here, they will trail going into the break. Wallace takes it back to half court. 7 seconds on the clock. He's got to make his move soon. Now he does. Wallace drives. Layup is good. And St. Francis is able to get a heave off before the buzzer, but it gets stuck to the top of the backboard. So it's halftime. Campbellsville got the final points there prior to the break, but St. Francis went on a big run before that. They trailed by as many as 11 in the first half, but at intermission, the Saints are ahead. 31-30 is our score. I'll be back in about 15 minutes. I'll get you some first half stats, and then we'll get going with 20 more minutes of basketball. Right now, it is the home team, St. Francis, in front. 31-30, game one of the USF New Year's Classic. Halftime at the University of St. Francis. The Fighting Saints taking on Campbellsville University in game one of our two-day New Year's Classic. 2 games today, 2 games tomorrow. 31-30 is our score. St. Francis leads Campbellsville at the break. Terry Bonadonna with you once more. Campbellsville led pretty much the whole first half. They had the lead for roughly 18 minutes of the 20-minute first half, and St. Francis took an advantage with about 2 minutes left, and they carried it through the rest of the way. 31-30 is our score, behind 12 points from Ramel Davis. 5 of 6 shooting for Davis. He's also got 4 rebounds today. Ben Fatz leads the team with 6 rebounds. Saints have also gotten 8 points out of E.J. Charles. For Campbellsville, 8 points for Darius Harding, 2 of 4 from three-point range. Tyrell Hunt leads the team with 4 rebounds. The rebounding battle has been pretty consistent, 17-18, Campbellsville and St. Francis. Saints started to shoot the ball a lot better as the half went on. They shot 46%. Campbellsville just 38% in the first half, and this is a team that shoots the ball pretty well over the course of the season, close to 50% and about 35% on three-pointers. So don't expect those numbers to stay as low in the second half as they were in the first, although Darius Harding misses the first shot of the second half. Davis quickly takes it the other way. He's blocked, but foul. Free throws were a huge edge to the Fighting Saints in the first half. They didn't shoot them at a high percentage. They went just 7 of 12 from the line. But Campbellsville only got 1 free throw attempt. So the Saints, after this, will be plus 13 in terms of free throws attempted. Davis has made both of his, and now he's 3 for 3. Biggest lead for St. Francis has been 3 points. They did not lead for the first time until there were about 2 minutes to play in the half. Davis misses his second, but Ben Fatz grabs the rebound. Here's Tay Jones. Out to E.J. Charles. Saints have a chance to turn this into a big possession. Charles backs in on Wallace, off the glass and in. 3-point play for St. Francis. E.J. Charles is in double digits now with 10 points. And the Saints have their biggest lead so far as Milburn can't corral it. Off his hands and out of bounds. Milburn picked up a pair of fouls in the first half and didn't get a lot of action. Quickly out there in the second half, he turns it over. 7th turnover of the game committed by the Tigers, and the Saints just committed their 6th of the afternoon. Wallace nearly turned it over again, took his eye off the ball and slipped through his hands. Now it is knocked away, and E.J. Charles gets the steal. Tigers have turned it over on back-to-back possessions. Here's Charles driving. E.J. Charles layup is good. 4 straight for E.J. Charles. Saints stay hot. They trailed by as many as 11 points in the first half. Now they've got their biggest lead at 6. Milburn passes to Wallace. Up top, Clements. Campbellsville works it around the perimeter. Penny pulls up from the free throw line. Jumper off the back iron. Gets the roll. Kobe Penny has 5 points. Campbellsville scores for the first time this half. Remember how cold both of these teams were to start the game. St. Francis didn't hit their first field goal until about 6 minutes in. Campbellsville had just 2 field goals over that same period of time. Nadav Gerner out to Ben Fatz. Jumper is short. Rebound tipped right back out to Fatz. But a shot clock violation is called. The shot clock reset, but it shouldn't have. And so a shot clock violation is whistled by the official. It's a St. Francis turnover. The pace has certainly picked up since that very slow start. St. Francis in particular out of bounds. Nice defense from E.J. Charles. Lobbed inside, nobody there, out of bounds. Harding was looking for Milburn. Milburn was not looking for the ball. He never saw it. Straight out of bounds on the pass. Another turnover committed by Campbellsville. Saints have been red hot. They've made 8 of their last 10 field goal attempts. That is stripped from Davis. He gets it back. Jumper is good. .15 for Ramel Davis. Ball knocked loose and taken away again by the Saints. Darius Harding falls on the back of Nadav Gerner's leg, and he's called for the foul. It's incidental contact, really, but that doesn't ease Gerner's pain any. So the second foul on Harding. And Gerner stretched out that leg after he got up, ready to go. Davis turns towards the basket, dribbles it inside, up with the right hand, misses. Rebound hauled in by Kobe Penny. Penny drives hard inside, dishes it off to Graham, and Jordan Graham finishes with the layup. Campbellsville faithful make a little bit of noise as Graham gets his first bucket here in the second half. 38-34 our score. The Tigers are keeping it close. Gerner into Charles. E.J. Charles is fouled by Penny. Penny came in a little bit late defensively, mistimed the challenge. And it's the third on Campbellsville. Talked earlier about the massive difference in free throw shooting. Maybe it goes without saying that means there's been a pretty big difference in fouls committed as well. E.J. Charles uncontested on the inbounds play as an easy layup. It left them all alone, a defensive miscommunication. And Charles now has 14, just one behind Davis's team high. 10 fouls committed by Campbellsville. They've got 3 players with 2. It's knocked out of bounds, last touched by the Saints. St. Francis has only had 3 fouls called against them all game. Big part of the reason they've got a big lead now. 6 points is not a big lead, but it feels like it considering the way most of this game has gone. Clements pull-up jumper, short. Rebounded by Jones. Here's Tay Jones on the run. Good transition defense from the Tigers. Jones slows it down. Bounced into Ben Fatz, off his hands and out of bounds. St. Francis turns it over. Tyrell Hunt and Noah Gordon check in for Milburn and Clements for Campbellsville. Dakota Joachim spells Nadav Gerner for the Fighting Saints. Hunt bounces to Gordon. Noah Gordon spins and kicks into the corner. Penny. Back out to Gordon, drives from the top. Gordon dishes to Penny, layup is good. A little 2-man game there. Penny and Gordon go back and forth, and Kobe Penny finishes with the 2. Joachim passes to Davis, back out to Dakota Joachim. There's a cutting Tay Jones, layup is good. 7 for Jones. St. Francis by 6 once again. Jace Wallace holds on the wing. Wallace bounces to Gordon. Gordon pulls it out into the corner. Now he backs in, and he's fouled by Ben Fatz. Fatz knocked the ball away from behind. He's called for the reach. First foul of the half on St. Francis. First on Ben Fatz, who leaves the game. Casimiro Chiaka checks in, as does Don Joachim. Davis gets a breather. Turnaround from Noah Gordon, no good. Fight for the rebound, still loose. Penny looked like he had grabbed it for a minute Ochiaka knocked it away, and it's out of bounds. Last touched by St. Francis. .24 to play in this game. 6-point lead for the Fighting Saints. They trailed the whole first half. They've had the lead the whole second half so far. Wallace spins on Don Joachim, floats it and misses. Rebound Ochiaka. Ochiaka on offense, passes to his left. It's E.J. Charles. Lob down low. Ochiaka against Gordon. Ochiaka backs in, stumbles, and travels. Turnover committed by St. Francis. Ochiaka was a little out of control on that possession. Here come the Tigers. Struggling, but down by only 6. A team that, again, shoots right around 50% for the season. Today they're under 40. Tyrell Hunt turnaround is good. For a team that is not in any way playing their game that they're accustomed to playing, really been hampered by the St. Francis defense. They've got to be heartened that they have kept it close. Dakota Jokin misses the 3, and the rebound is grabbed by Wallace. Here's Hunt trying to make it a one-possession game. He puts it in again. Back-to-back buckets for Tyrell Hunt, and now it's just 42-40. St. Francis led by 1 at halftime. They've been up by as many as 6 since then. This is as close as it's been since right before the half, or right after the half, I should say. Drive from Charles, and Charles banks it in. E.J. Charles shaken up as he comes down, grabbing at his left leg. So all in all, not a sight that the Saints would like to see. They liked the basket from Charles, but he's limping off the floor a little bit. Looks to be okay, didn't need any help off the floor, and just a slight limp. He's had a massive game today, 16 points and 3 blocked shots. He is 6 of 8 shooting. St. Francis came into today's game with a record of just 2-5 this year. A little bit of a misleading mark considering they played a very tough schedule, and their losses have been extremely close. 3 of them in overtime, 2 of them in double overtime. Turnaround from Penny, no good. There's Graham with the follow. Jordan Graham tips it in. He's got 10 points. It's 44-42. It's going to be a tough couple of days here for the Saints as Ben Kreitz receives the pass inside from Jokin, but he's blocked. Going the other way, Gordon out to Hunt. Tyrell Hunt for 2. Misses the shot that would have tied the score. Slow going lately on offense for the Fighting Saints. See if they can change that here. Don Joachim fakes, drives. Off balance shot goes in. Wild drive from Don Joachim, but it all works out. He's got 4 points. Dakota Joachim knocks the ball away from Noah Gordon. 2-on-1. Joachim takes it in alone and lays it in with the left hand. A flurry of points for St. Francis. They got 4 in the span of about 6 seconds. And their 2-point lead is up to 6. Noah Gordon drives, blocked from behind by Ochiaka. Rebound tipped out to Don Joachim. Here's Dakota. Out to Tay Jones, 3-pointer. Is good, and the Saints have their biggest lead today. Timeout Campbellsville. 11:07 to play, 51-42. St. Francis on a 7-0 run in the last 30 seconds or so. Really impressive stretch for the Fighting Saints. They were struggling, but they got 2 points from Tay Jones, and then a quick steal that turned into a fast break bucket for Dakota Joachim, and then following a defensive stop, The three-pointer makes it 51-42 as Jones now is in double figures following that last bucket. Third double-digit scorer for St. Francis. Jones has 10. Ramel Davis was the hot scorer early. He's got 15 points. E.J. Charles leads the way with 16 points, half of which have come in the first 9 minutes of this second half. Actually, a little bit less than that, because he's been on the bench the last few. Charles walked off the floor after he had come up limping following a made basket. But he's back on the sideline right now, and hopefully able to return to the game shortly. Mentioned before, it's going to be a tough few days. Tomorrow is arguably the harder of the two games. They take on Freed Hardeman, the 11th ranked team in the country, coming up from Tennessee. Freed Hardeman and Campbellsville both have journeyed north for this week's activities. A couple of teams out of the Mid-South Conference, both with impressive records this year. Campbellsville's 9-2, but they're in trouble here, in danger of dropping their third game of the season. A leaner is no good for Tyrell Hunt. The tip-in is, though. It was Jordan Graham who tipped in the Hunt miss. Graham's got 12 points. He is the only Tiger in double figures right now. And out of the timeout, Campbellsville is able to halt the 7-0 St. Francis run. A quick 7 points for the Saints. Dakota Joachim throws it away. Intercepted by Cameron Willis. Drive from Hunt, comes up short. Rebounded by Ben Kreitz. Joachim flying down the floor, loses the ball for an instant, gets it right back. Ben Kreitz for three, no. Under 10 minutes to play. 7-point lead for the Saints. They were up by 1 at halftime. Their biggest lead is 9. The biggest lead for Campbellsville has been 11. Jace Wallace passes to Milburn. It's deflected and taken away by the Saints. Joachim lobbed ahead for Kreitz, and Kreitz is fouled. Number 3 on Jay Milburn, who largely as a result of fouls has not been able to find any rhythm in today's game. Campbellsville with a 9-2 record coming into play today. Enjoying their best season in a while. It's been 4 years since they finished with a winning record. And of course, they've got a long way to go before they can lock up a winning record this year, but they're off to a really good start. Kreitz makes the first free throw. They lost the season opener against the other St. Francis, the one who hails from Indiana. But they've been really good since then. They've won 5 consecutive games. That streak obviously is in jeopardy today, now trailing by 9 points. Ben Kreitz makes both free throws, his first points tonight. Into the corner, Milburn for 3, short, offensive rebound. It's Tyrell Hunt. Passes it out to Darius Harding. Willis, a long 2, is good. His foot was on the line, but it is a big 2 points for Cameron Willis. Campbellsville needed him there. Joachim walks to the left, bounces down low. This is Ben Fatz. He's had a quiet day offensively. His pass here deflected into the backcourt. Gerner tracks it down. Still St. Francis ball, only 7 to shoot now. Gerner down to Dakota Joachim, corner 3. Off the rim, no good. Fight for the rebound, won by Ben Fatz. Knocked away from Fatz, but right to Dakota Joachim, and the Saints get to reset. Don Joachim for 3, no good. Rebound, Milburn, who throws it out of bounds. Looking for Harding on the outlet, but he underthrew him, out of bounds. And another turnover committed by Campbellsville. They've been plentiful here in this second half. It's their 13th turnover of the game. $20 on the shot clock for Davis. Here's Gerner around the screen. Gerner bounces to the cutting Fats, rolls off his hands, nearly taken away, but Fats gets it back. Here's Gerner on the drive, high off the backboard, he lays it in. Nice drive, Nadav Gerner. His first points today. The lead is back to 9. Harding nearly fell out of bounds, kept it alive to Milburn. Actually, he did fall out of bounds, just wasn't holding the ball at the time. Willis for 3, no good. Rebound tipped around, Davis comes down with it for the Fighting Saints. Now a 9-point game, still a lot of time left. Bounced in to Don Joachim, blocked from behind by Hunt. Campbellsville, though, is getting close to a point where they need to start scoring just because they can't see this deficit get any bigger. Hunt to Graham. Jordan Graham on his way to the rim. No good, but Milburn is there with the follow. First points for Jay Milburn since very early on. He had a 3-pointer in the first half. He's got 5 for the game. Averages 11 on the season. A foul away from the ball. This is on Cameron Willis. Both teams go to their bench. Clements, Gordon, Penny, and Wallace all return to the floor for Campbellsville. Ochiaka, Charles, and Jones are back out there for St. Francis. Good to see E.J. Charles, who's been on the bench the last 5 minutes after going down, clutching his leg after making a basket. Davis down the lane. Shot is blocked by Gordon. Fired ahead by Campbellsville. Wallace lays it up and in, and a foul. So Campbellsville did exactly what I said they had to do, which is start scoring soon, just to not let this game get out of hand for them. They were down by 9 a minute ago, and now it's down to 5 and a chance to make it 4 after the timeout. St. Francis calls the timeout with 6:51 remaining. 55-50 is our score. It's been an interesting one today. St. Francis has kind of felt like they've been in control of this game the whole second half. So it's weird to think that for a while it looked like they weren't even in this game. Campbellsville scored the first 6 points today before the Saints got on the board. St. Francis went 6 minutes before their first field goal. Their first 3 points all came from the free throw line. But the Tigers kept a pretty good distance between themselves and the Fighting Saints in that first half. They led by as many as 11 when it was 23-12. And then the Saints made their run, ended up taking a lead with about 2 minutes remaining in the first half, and they have not relinquished that lead since they got it. We've had only 1 lead change all game. Campbellsville was up big early. The Saints were up big later. And now it's close. 55-50. Jace Wallace is at the free throw line out of this timeout. Wallace has 6 points today. This is the first free throw attempt of the second half for a Campbellsville side that has committed a fair number of fouls themselves. Saints are plus 15 in terms of free throw attempts, plus 9 in terms of free throws made. Wallace makes the foul shot here. It is a 3-point play. (55-51), and now it's St. Francis who could really use a bucket. They've gone through a drought here of nearly 2 minutes. Davis, layup is good, off the pass from Gerner. Saints needed it, they got it. Romel Davis has 17 points. Wallace had the three-point play on the last possession, cradles the ball and passes it off to Penny. Down to the corner, Noah Gordon drives, loses it, ball loose, up in the air, knocked up top to Jace Wallace, and the possession is kept alive by the Tigers. 3 seconds to shoot. Harding, long three, rims out. Ochiaka grabs the rebound and is undercut by Kobe Penny. A foul called on the Campbellsville guard. That's the 6th on Campbellsville. So they've hit their foul limit for the half, but that one will not yet send St. Francis to the line. Tay Jones up top to Gerner. Ochiaka at the free throw line. Turns and fires outside. Gerner drives and he's bumped by Penny. So the second foul of this possession on Kobe Penny gives him 4 for the game. And it sends Nadav Gerner to the line for a 1-and-1. Ben Fatz checks back in for the Saints. His right hand is all taped up. Gerner misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Rebound grabbed by Jordan Graham. That's a big miss. Campbellsville down by just 2 possessions with about 5.5 minutes to play. Wallace is the ball handler. Wallace steps up to the free throw line. Jumper misses. Rebound tipped into the hands of Clements. Clements goes up. No foul called. Ball loose and grabbed by E.J. Charles. Campbellsville wanted the whistle. They didn't get it from their bench. Tay Jones drives. Jones all the way in. Loses it out of bounds. It'll stay with the Saints. .22 to shoot. Nadav Gerner is the inbounder. 5 starters on the floor for St. Francis. Gerner wafts it up to E.J. Charles. Charles has 16 points today. Works his way inside. Charles scores and one. E.J. Charles had a big game today. Fouls on Darius Harding. Number 3 on Harding. Penny has 4. 1 shot for Charles. And it's good. 19 points for the senior forward from Mokina. Right down the road from here. 60-51. St. Francis has matched their biggest lead. Here's Wallace on the drive. Wallace, little fadeaway. No. Gordon follows, and Noah Gordon is fouled. Second foul on Ben Fatz. 2 free throws here for Gordon. Still just 3 fouls have been whistled against the Saints today. 5 for the game compared to 17 called against Campbellsville. Gordon misses the free throw. First miss from the line today for Campbellsville after they had made their first 2. Gordon's a 76% shooter on the season. He hits that one. Gordon had 6 big points in the span of about 5 minutes in the first half. That's the first time he's scored since then. So he's got 7. One dribble from Fatz. He passes out to Gerner. Down low, E.J. Charles. Charles along the baseline. Triple team. Ball knocked away. Stolen by Gordon. Gordon's already used up his dribble. He gives it to Harding. Harding across half court. Pass to Wallace, and Wallace is fouled. That's on Nadav Gerner, number 3 on him. It's only the 7th foul of the game called, or rather the 6th foul of the game called against St. Francis, but half of them have been on Gerner. 4:20 to play, so I don't know if you would consider it major foul trouble for Gerner, but he does have to be a little bit careful here. Gordon double teamed, up with the left hand, no good. Rebound Charles. Davis passes out to Gerner. Nadab Gerner drives from the wing, pull up in the paint, kicked out to Tay Jones, three-pointer, no. Rebounded by Gordon. So the Saints have left the door open a little bit with a couple of empty possessions. 8-point game. Campbellsville still very much alive in this. Penny loses it. Jones scoops up the loose ball. One-on-one with Wallace. Jones is blocked, but foul. .340 to play. 2 free throws coming up for Tay Jones. Jones has 10 points today. Team's leading scorer for the season coming in, averaging just over 11. And he can hit that right here, but he misses the first of 2 free throws. Second shot for Jones. Got 1 of 2. So the lead once again is 9. St. Francis has not trailed in the second half. 9 matches their biggest lead. They've had it a couple of times. Wallace gets the screen from Milburn, drives, Wallace, layup, no. Fats may have gotten a piece of that from behind. Here's Charles ahead to Jones, off his hands, ball loose, and grabbed by Jordan Graham. St. Francis commits a sloppy turnover early in the possession. Campbellsville capitalizes as Kobe Penny drives and lays it in. Timeout Saints, 3:03 to play, 61-54. Got a good one coming down the stretch here. Looked in the first half like Campbellsville was setting themselves up to run away. It didn't happen. Several times here in the second half, St. Francis has appeared to be the team ready to put this one out of reach, but Campbellsville has not let them. They've hung around. 61-54 is our score. Coming out of the timeout. Both teams have multiple timeouts remaining. So that will not be an issue for either side. They have to stop the clock late. St. Francis is in the double bonus. Saints have committed only 4 fouls themselves. Just something to keep in mind as we approach the final minutes of this game. Saints have had a couple of turnovers early in possessions. You don't need to slow things down here if you're the Fighting Saints, not too much, but you want to avoid giving the ball up early. Clock is certainly an issue now for Campbellsville. Charles received the pass down low. Now he's struggling to get positioning inside. Ball is lost, but right out to Ramel Davis. 6 seconds on the shot clock for Davis. Davis puts it on the floor, puts up the shot, no good. Rebounded by Clements. Forced ahead quickly, Jordan Graham misses the 3. Rebounded by Gerner. It's a big miss from Campbellsville. And now the Saints can run a little bit more clock. They can carry it down under 2 minutes on this possession. Fats hands to Charles. E.J. Charles is the game's leading scorer with 19 points. Davis right behind him with 17. This is Ramel Davis with the ball. Pass to a cutting Gerner. Gerner's leaner off the glass, misses. Rebound grab by Campbellsville. So Campbellsville has the ball back, but they're down by 7, and now there are under 2 minutes to play. They're running out of time as Milburn's three-pointer misses short. Offensive rebound, Wallace is fouled. 1:49 on the clock. Second foul on E.J. Charles. 2 free throws for Jace Wallace. Wallace misses the first. He's a good free throw shooter, 80% on the season. 1 of 2 now today. This still could make it a 2-possession game. but it misses. Rebound tipped out of bounds, last touched by Jay Milburn. So they missed 2 free throws and then had a chance to get the ball back but couldn't hold on. So 3 mistakes there by the Tigers. Milburn is arguing that the ball was knocked out of his hand from behind. But the call is St. Francis ball. Looking to put it away. It's already a 3-possession game with just over a minute and a half left. Fats fighting down low, blocked by Milburn. Rebound Campbellsville. Here comes Penny. Penny spins out of control. The ball is scooped up by Graham. Jordan's Graham pass is deflected, but still finds Chandler Clements, who misses the 3. And Gerner tries to save the rebound from going out of bounds, but can't. Penny knocks down the jumper from the free throw line. Weird sequence there, and it ends up with 2 points for Campbellsville. With 71 seconds remaining, we've got a timeout. Couple of chances for the Tigers. They couldn't get him. Gerner tried to save the rebound. He did save it from going out of bounds, but he couldn't save it to a teammate. Instead, he ended up getting it right to Kobe Penny. And that turned into 2 points for Campbellsville. Penny's now got 11 points. Second Tiger in double figures. Right after this game is over, part 2 of today's doubleheader will feature the Phantoms of East West University from nearby in downtown Chicago, and the Lions of Freed Hardeman. Freed Hardeman, of course, is the Lions. Campbellsville's the Tigers. If I were in charge of scheduling, the 3rd team that I invited to the New Year's Classic this year would be somebody with the nickname Bears. But that probably gives you an indication of why I'm not in charge of scheduling anyone anywhere. So it's the Saints and the Tigers here, the Lions and the Phantoms coming up next. All 4 teams will be at it again tomorrow. Against the full court press, the Saints break it easily. Gerner in the front court lays it in. First time that the Tigers have put on the press today. And no problem for the Fighting Saints, an easy 2, but Wallace answers with a 3-pointer. Under a minute to play. Tay Jones gets it across half court. Jones ahead for E.J. Charles, and St. Francis slows things down. 4-point game. 40 seconds on the clock. Charles for 3. No good. That may have just about put it away. Instead, it's up for grabs. Wallace drives. Wallace kicks it out. 3-pointer to make it a 1-point game. No good, but Milburn is there for the rebound. Well short on the jumper from Jordan Graham. But it all works out to Campbellsville's benefit. If Graham had hit the rim there, then the Saints may have gotten the rebound, and Campbellsville would probably have had to foul. But he missed that 3-pointer badly enough that the rebound was open for the offense. And Milburn was able to put it in and make it a 1-possession game, 63-61. It's as close as it's been in a long time. Last time that Campbellsville had the lead was with about 2 minutes left in the first half. They were up 28-27. Remember, they led by as many as 11 points in the first half. And they had the lead for the entirety of that first half, save for the last 2 minutes. Here in the second half, though, it's been all St. Francis up until the last minute or 2. Campbellsville had their backs up against the wall, but they hit a couple of shots right when they needed them. A 3-pointer, and then they got a stop, followed by that second chance bucket just moments ago. Milburn's got 7 points. Chase Wallace, who hit the 3 on the previous possession, is up to 10. St. Francis has had to face the Campbellsville press twice. They beat it both times, once turning it into a fast break layup. And the second time they were able to get it across half court, but eventually came up empty on the possession. Charles is inbounding. It's Gerner, Jones, Kreitz, and Davis on the floor with him. E.J. Charles calls timeout. So they'll talk it over again with 26.4 on the clock. If the Saints break the press again here and get it across the half-court stripe, then I would imagine Campbellsville will foul immediately. Campbellsville, by the way, is out of timeouts now. Saints still have 2 of them left. But right now for the Tigers, the main objective is to prevent the Saints from getting it in. If they do get it in, they'll try to keep them in the backcourt. There's plenty of time here for Campbellsville, so they don't have to worry too much. If the Saints get it across half court, again, then they would probably need to foul right away. But there's a lot of time right now to try to force a steal or even a 10-second violation. We'll see how they play it. Defense for Campbellsville has been pretty solid throughout the game. Their problem for the most part has been knocking down shots, just 25% from the three-point range, but they've hit 2 of their last 3 shots and scored on back-to-back possessions to put themselves in position to win this game down the stretch when it looked just a moment ago like St. Francis was maybe 1 bucket away from putting this game on ice. Nadav Gerner gets it into Jones, and Jones is fouled. Wallace wasn't trying to foul, but he bumped him. You get to this stage of the game, and it gets funny because the officials sometimes are expecting the defense to commit a foul intentionally, so even if they don't, sometimes you see that whistle. That time you saw it on Jace Wallace's face that he couldn't believe they had called a foul because he wasn't trying to, but there was clearly some body contact there. I think that's the opposite of what you see from the officials. Sometimes the refs call a foul just because they're expecting one to be there. Sometimes I think the players in that case expect to not hear a whistle just because they're not intentionally fouling. And they kind of forget that you can have a foul unintentionally too. 2 shots here for Tay Jones. He misses the first. Jones is a good foul shooter, but everything's been a struggle today from the line for the Saints. Tay Jones is just 1 of 3 from the line. 57% for the team. So this will be a 1-score game whether or not this goes in, and it does. 64-61, 24.5 seconds left. Here's Wallace. Wallace spins into the paint, dishes off to Milburn, who lays it in. And a timeout called by St. Francis. Where is it? Whistle blew to stop play. But nobody called timeout, so I'm not sure what the whistle was for. They wanted to reset the clock. 14.5 on the clock. 64-63. This is as close as it's been since halftime. Saints led 31-30 at the break. Still a lot of time left here. I don't know if you're Campbellsville, if you can wait for a half-court violation here, but you don't necessarily need to foul immediately. You still look for a trap or 2. Charles gets it to Ben Fatz, and Fatz is fouled. Fatz tried to get it ahead to Tay Jones across half court, and he did get the pass to him. Jones, if he had been able, well, I should say if the officials hadn't blown the whistle, because Jones did make the catch, he would have been able to dribble that out for several more seconds, I think. Instead, they send Fatz to the line for 2. And the first shot is good. Yeah, it was clear as soon as Ben Fatz got the ball that that was the guy they wanted to foul, but he's one of the few guys for St. Francis today who has been clean from the line. Fatz is 3 of 3. This to make it a 3-point game with 10 seconds left. He misses it, so it's a 2-point game. Campbellsville can tie or take the lead here. Wallace is fouled by Gerner. That was just the 6th foul on St. Francis. 6.7 seconds left. They had that foul to give, and now they don't have it anymore. The foul will send Campbellsville to the line. If it had been a 3-point game, that wouldn't be so bad. In a 2-point game, they don't want to see it. 3 seconds. Wallace Out to Clements for the win. Got it. 0.6 seconds on the clock. It's not officially over yet. St. Francis calls timeout. Campbellsville has their first lead of the second half. They were down by 9 with under 2 minutes to play. And they have made a run. Chandler Clements had not made a shot all game. And an off-balance three-pointer with the clock running down under a second goes in for him to make it 66-65 Campbellsville. It has been this type of season for St. Francis. 2-5 coming in, but all 5 losses have been against tough competition. 3 of them in overtime. 2 of those overtime losses came in double overtime. The other losses on their schedule this year, a hard-fought game against a really good Marion team. Ended up being an 11-point final, but it was closer than that most of the way, and the same deal against Indiana Northwest, who they lost to by 8 in a game that was much tighter down the stretch. But what those teams did, Marion and Indiana Northwest, is when it was tight down the stretch, they made the plays they needed to put it away and prevent the St. Francis comeback, and that is something that Fighting Saints have not been able to do today. They've had a lot of opportunities to put this game away. They haven't made the plays primarily from the line. They've missed 2 crucial free throws in the last 30 seconds. Free throw shooting has been a sore spot all game. Here we go, 0.6 of a second. Ben Kreitz gets it into Tay Jones from half court. Just short. Just short. Missed it by inches. St. Francis almost gave Campbellsville the most heartbreaking loss that they'll see all season. Instead, the Saints suffer another tough defeat. They fall to 2-6 on the season, despite leading this one for 19 minutes and 59 seconds in the second half. 66-65 is our final score. Campbellsville wins their 6th consecutive game, and St. Francis falls for the 4th straight time. Still looking for their first win since November 29th, just about a month ago. It's not going to get any easier tomorrow as they take on the 11th ranked team in the country, the Lions of Freed-Hardeman University. More on that in just a minute. Let's close this one out. Get some final stats for you. St. Francis shot 46% from the field today. Campbellsville shot just 39%, only 28% from three-point range, 7 of 25. But the 7th three was the big one for Campbellsville. Chandler Clements, with under a second on the clock, was the game winner. St. Francis just 3 of 15 from beyond the arc. 2 of their threes came from Tay Jones. Jones, though, for as good a shooter as he is, couldn't get it done from the free throw line today. Neither could the rest of the Fighting Saints. 14 of 24, 58%. And that really was their undoing. Although you still can't point out they were plus 11 from the line today. Campbellsville didn't shoot it well from the free throw line either, and they didn't get very many opportunities. They went just 3 of 6 on free throws. Individual leaders for St. Francis, E.J. Charles had 19 points on 7 of 10 shooting. Romel Davis finished with 17 points, 7 of 11 from the field. Ben Fatz led the way with 10 rebounds. 12 points today for Jordan Graham. That was tops for Campbellsville. 3 players in double figures for the Tigers today. Again, our final score 66-65 with the win. Campbellsville improves their record to 10-2 on the season. Tough loss for the Saints, drops them to 2-6 this year. They got another chance in just about 22 hours. 1 o'clock start time tomorrow. They'll take on Freed-Hardeman University. A tough opponent for the Saints tomorrow. And we're going to look at Freed-Hardeman today. We'll get a chance to scout them out in just a few minutes as they take on East-West University at 3 o'clock Central start time today. Probably start just a few minutes late because this one ran a little bit long. 66-65, Campbellsville over St. Francis. That'll do it for this one. Stick around if you want to get a quick look at the next 2 teams, Freed-Hardeman and East-West. East-West will take on Campbellsville at 3 o'clock Central time tomorrow afternoon.
Otherwise, our next broadcast of St. Francis basketball will be tomorrow, same time, same place, 1 o'clock on New Year's Eve afternoon. So hopefully you're with us for that. Time to close up shop for this one. The Tigers take out the Saints by 1, 66-65, our final score. Back shortly. Until then, it's Terry Bonadonna signing off for the moment. Thanks for tuning in.